This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris, and this is the second of a two-part series on making these great little flip-flop sugar cookies. Well, in the previous episode, we baked all of the cookies, and then in this episode, I'm going to show you how we make a great decorator's icing and then decorate them. Now we're going to first start by getting our icing ready. Now we're going to be using some kind of egg white, and let me show you a couple of choices that you have. Now I'm going to be using meringue powder, and what this is it's basically just powdered egg whites, and it's really great for doing frostings and things like that. But if you can't find that, you can certainly use a fresh egg white. Now in my mixer I have my whisk attachment on, not the paddle, because we're going to be getting a lot of volume with this icing. So I'm going to start by measuring out 1.5 tablespoons of my meringue powder. Now if you don't have meringue powder available where you are, you can separate out the egg white of 1 egg. And then to my egg white or meringue powder, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm going to turn this on just for a moment, just to get the egg white and that powdered sugar mixed together. Now we're going to add some liquid, and I'm going to add some warm water. Now if you're using meringue powder like I am, you're going to measure out 3 tablespoons of warm water. But if you're using a fresh egg white, you've already got some liquid in that egg white, so you're just going to measure out 1 teaspoon of the warm water and add that to your bowl. And for our flavoring, I'm going to be adding 1/4 teaspoon of lemon extract, but you could also use vanilla if you'd like. Now I'm going to start my mixer running. I'm going to put it on a high speed, and I'm going to let this mix for 7 minutes until it's nice and fluffy. Now about halfway through, I'm going to scrape the bowl down because I can see that some of that powdered sugar has sort of flung on the sides, and then I'll continue mixing for the rest of the 7 minutes. Now after the 7 minutes, you can see the icing is really nice and fluffy. I've got 3 bowls because I'm going to be using 3 different colors on these sandals, and I'm just going to take and put a little blob in each bowl just to divide the frosting up, and then I'll show you how we color it. Now when we go to make colored frosting, we don't want to use food coloring. We want to use these icing colors, and they're almost like a gel like this. They're a really intense color. Now for our flip-flops today, I want the sandal part to be green, so I'm going to take a toothpick. I'm just going to get a little bit of that color. I'm going to just put it in my frosting in here, and then with a spoon I'm going to mix it up until I get the shade of green that I like. So you can see it doesn't take much color at all to get a really nice green. You do want to make sure that you mix it well, because that paste, you don't want it to be in clumps, because it will pipe out in sometimes dark areas, sometimes light areas. So do take a moment and really stir that up. Kind of like that light green. And then for the little toenail polish on the sandals, I'm going to use some rose, and again I'm just going to put a drizzle of that in, and then with my spoon mix that up until I get a nice pink shade that I like. Now I actually would like that to be a little hotter pink, so I'm going to add a little bit more. That's more of the kind of pink I'm looking for. And then for the flower on the sandal, I'm going to leave that white, so I'm just going to leave that plain like that. Next, we need to get our icing in our cake decorating bags. Now, I like to use these little disposable bags. I find that they're really easy to use. So because I have 3 colors, I need 3 different bags. And then I am going to be using 2 kinds of tips today. Now, the tips I'm going to be using for this cookie is a number 3 tip, which is just sort of an open small hole. That'll be for the sandal. I'm going to be using a second number 3 tip to do the toenail polish for the pink. And then for the flower, I'm going to be using a drop star tip, and this is a number 35. Now, to get ready, we need to take a bag and put a tip into it. So you take your scissors and cut the end off and then place the tip in. And now you don't want the tip to come too far out the bag, just peek out a little bit. Just like that, so that's perfect. And then you're gonna take and cuff the bag like a boot. And I'm gonna open that up with my hand, and this is my number 3 tip, and I'm going to take my green icing and I'm going to put it in, and you can see I have a spoon, and then on the outside of the bag I grab that spoon and slide the icing off, and I'm just going to get the rest of it and pop that in. So I pull that cuff up, get the bag nicely straightened out, and then I just kind of squeeze the icing down into the tip, and then this is ready to go. And now I'm going to make bags for my second number 3 tip, which will have the pink icing in it, and my third bag will have the number 35 tip in it for my white icing. So now we have our 3 bags of icing ready to go, so let me show you how we can decorate these cookies. Now we should start with 1 cookie, and we want to make sure to get that frosting right on the very end. Now, normally I would frost it face down on the board like this, but I'm going to hold it up for you so you can see what I'm going to be doing. We're going to start by outlining the whole cookie in green. So I'm just going to come and start squeezing, and my tip does not touch the cookie. You can see it's quite a ways up, actually. And then I'm going to go around the toes, just like that. And then I'm going to take and make the little strap part that goes between your toes. So I'm going to start here where the big toe is, and I'm going to come out and make a line here and a line there. So that kind of looks like a flip-flop that you'd have on your own foot. And then I'm going to take the pink, and I'm going to make on each toe, I'm going to put just a little bit of color for the toenail polish, just like that. And then for our drop flower, I will need to lay it flat like this. What I'm going to do is right where this center part is, where the green thong part comes between your toes, I'm going to put 1 drop star. So what you do is you hold your bag straight up like this, you press down and up, and that's it. It's super simple to do. I'm going to do 1 more so you can see from this angle how I do it. So I'm going to start, I'm going to do my toes, come around the edge of the sandal, like that, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my thong part, so right where the big toe meets the next toe, that's going to swing down and swing down this way. Then I'll grab my pink and I'll do my little toenails here. Like that. Then I'll do my flower right in the center. And then I think on this flower I'm actually going to put just a little green dot in the center, just like that. But what I could also do is change it up, and maybe instead of doing the green as an outline, I want to do a little bit of the pink. I can do that too. It really doesn't matter. You can just be super creative with it. And if you find on these number 3 tips, when you're not using them, if they start to feel like they're clogging a little bit, just take a toothpick or the tip of a knife and push it into the tip and it'll loosen it up. This frosting is meant to harden up, so as the frosting hits the air, it is going to sort of solidify just a little bit. Now, once you finish decorating your cookies, you're going to want to leave them at room temperature so that frosting can set up nicely. Then once that happens, you can go ahead and put these in an airtight container, and they can be stored at room temperature for up to 3 weeks. Now, if you'd like to try these cute little flip-flop cookies at home yourself, just go to our website and go to the cookie jar show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And as always, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.